Welcome to Late Start Piano. My name is Josh LaFleur. Today we're going to be talking about a different, less commonly known scale. We're going to talk about some of its uses and some of the key features of it, just to add another tool to your toolbox, whether you are trying to learn how to improvise, or you write songs, or just to expand your overall musical knowledge. So we know about whole scales, or major scales. We know about minor scales. We know about things like diminished scales, even augmented scales. We know about different kinds of variations in different modes, like Lydian and Locrian and Phrygian and all of those things. All of those are great, but this scale is different than all of those, and it's called the whole tone scale. And the whole tone scale is made up of what exactly it sounds like, which is whole tones. So in major scales, from C to D, if we're in C major, C to D is a whole tone, D to E is a whole tone, but then E to F is a half step, right? So these are whole steps, and then we have a half step, and then a whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. So we kind of have a mix of whole steps and half steps. The whole tone scale is only whole tones. So if we take, let's say, these notes, that would be a whole tone scale because we don't use any half steps. So from here to here, whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step. And when you do that, it sounds very mystical, like especially when I hold down the pedal. It sounds very mystical and very dreamy like, and you hear it a lot in cinematic music, especially from, let's say, like the 60s or so. You think of like the Twilight Zone. For those of you familiar with that, that's just something you might hear. Something like that, because again, it doesn't sound grounded. It sounds the exact opposite. It sounds dreamy, and it sounds kind of floating and out there, right? So why does it sound like that? It sounds like that because there's no half steps. So when you start including half steps, things sound a little bit more grounded, and you can hear the one, you can hear the tonic. When we go back to C major, we can hear when that scale is over, when it feels at rest. If I were to descend this scale but stop early, hopefully you can hear that difference. When I just stopped on D, it doesn't sound resolved. It does not sound at rest. It only sounds at rest when I play that C, because the C in C major is the one, that's the tonic, that's when things feel at rest. The whole tone scale, nothing sounds at rest, so I can stop pretty much anywhere. That could be done. That also sounds pretty much the same as when I stopped up here. That also sounds like it could be finished. None of these really sound at rest, and when it doesn't sound at rest, when it's not grounded like that, that's when you get that whole tone scale effect and that dreamlike state. Another thing I want to mention is with the whole tone scale, we can also build chords off of it. So just like the major scale, we have 1 is major, 4 is major, 5 is major, 2 is minor, 3 is minor, and 6 is minor, and 7 is diminished. We can also build chords off of the whole tone scale. So if we want to build chords off of this, again, we're only using whole tones. This would be chord 1, so to speak, even though there's not really a 1, as we already talked about earlier. If we just want to take C, whole tone C scale, and build a chord off of that, this would be the first chord. And if you are familiar with your music theory, you realize that when you build chords with whole step, whole step, whole step, or 3 whole steps and 3 whole steps, or excuse me, 4 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 half steps. That's an augmented chord. That's C augmented. And augmented chords have that dreamy sound. Right? Here's C major. And when you raise that fifth degree, in this case G, now you get that question. It sounds like you're asking a question. Right? Because that fifth degree is raised. So we have that. We can also have this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's another augmented chord. This is D augmented. Same thing. How about this one? Starting on E. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another augmented chord. So the whole tone scale is all made up of augmented chords. That's another reason why you have that dreamy float-like state, right? So a couple other things is, instead of 12, so 12 major scales, right? You can pick any degree and build major scales off of them. That was C major, D flat major, and D major. And same thing with minor. We can have C minor, C minor. We can have A minor. We can have E minor. We can have 12 major scales, 12 minor scales. With whole tone scales, there's only 2. You can start on any note. Say you want to start on E. If you notice, we're playing all the exact same notes as starting on that C. So that's one way we can play it, with these 3 keys and these 3 keys. Another way we can play this is invert that. So we can do these 2 black keys and have these 4 keys only playing the white. So hopefully that makes sense. There's the picture here. If we want to take this grouping, 1, 2, 3, these group of keys, these are all white. These would be black. If we want to play a C whole tone scale. And we can invert that, and with this group of keys, just play the 2 black keys and play only white keys over here. So this would be the D flat whole tone scale. And I'll hold down the pedal so you can also hear it with this version of it as well. Sounds very similar to right? They're both whole tone scales. They're both made up of those augmented chords, right? So you do the same exact thing, augmented. And they sound the exact same. It's just there's only 2 variations because we're only using whole tones. So it's a little bit different, a little bit more narrow, so to speak, than using the major scales and the minor scales, and so on and so forth, right? So hopefully that helps. It's just another scale that you can use, help with your music theory, just something else to point out for you as well. Any questions, comments, let me know. I am also offering piano lessons right now. I am actually creating an offer that is in process where I'm going to be giving you my 90-day Piano Made Easy course and my 12 Major Scales Made Simple course, in addition to teaching you private lessons bi-weekly, so keep an ear out for that. Once that is out, I'll let you know. Any other questions, comments, concerns, let me know. I have a bunch of links down below you can check out, a lot of free material. Again, my name is Josh LaFleur with Late Start Piano.